Alright, we were on the browse screen for VG invoice and we were adding a record. And we added a record and we typed in ACME, and because of that, FilePro brought up a browse and we found exactly the record we wanted, and we hit enter and it took it. Okay, just like this. However, let's do this again. Press update. I'm going to type in ACME and hit enter. The browse has come up. And you notice at the bottom of the browser, page up and page down. You can page up and page down, and you can press enter to choose a record. Okay? It also says you can press del to cancel. And at the very bottom it says view for pop-up. Well, if I want to view the actual full screen record of that other record, if I press a V, I get to see the actual screen from the other file. See, that's just our screen one from the other file. It's pretty nice. Shows us everything about this record. We could kind of guarantee that's the one we want. We press enter, we're back on the browse. The keys I want to talk to you about now are much more important than the V for view. You remember on the Lookup Wizard it asked us, what screen do you want to pop up? And we said pop up screen 1 from the other file. So when I press a V, that's what we're seeing here. How about I press enter? The more important fields, every time you design a browse, the user does get to hit that del cancel key there or Control C in Windows. If they press del or if they press cancel, you have to handle it. That's one key you have to handle. And a second key you have to handle is escape. What if they press the save key while they're on a browse lookup? Those are two keys. They're special keys that you always have to deal with when you build a browse, because FilePro won't deal with them for you. For instance, if I'm on the browse now, I haven't made preparations for pressing. If they press the break key, watch what happens. I'm going to press the break key, the delete key. In Windows, this would be Control C. Bang, we got a big error. Input blah, something's all wrong. I have to deal with the break key and the save and the escape key. Let's go do that. In the input table, we'll go to the end of the browse here. At the browse line, just below the browse line, in other words, before, if they press enter, it's going to do this line, okay? But before, even before they press enter, we're going to test, did they press either of those special keys? And FilePro has @SK, special key. If the special key they pressed is equal to break, which is BRKY, all special keys are noted with a 4-character word, short word for them. If you press the, if you go to help and you go to F9 and you look for key labels, I believe, there's at least a list of the key labels there for you. And you can see that the break key or the delete key is a BRKY. And number 4, K4, is the save key. Okay, so you have the del, you have the, not the del, but the BRKY key, the break key, which is shown as KY or del. And you have the escape key. And in this system, it might be just escape in Windows. But that's save and break. That's what the two you have to deal with. And what are we going to do? If they press, let's do this. If they press the break key, well, I don't want to crash out with that FilePro error message. I want to clear the browse and put them back in screen 3. Screen field 3, on the same screen in field 3. I want to do something else, actually. Actually, they may have filled up some of the data on the address field. So in here later, I'm going to clear out some other stuff, but I'll show you that in a second. Let's deal with the other key. The other @special key is @special key equals save. In other words, if they try to save the record right directly from a browse, you have to deal with it. Maybe you'll let them save the record, maybe you won't. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to say, go to, let's call it BRW. And where are we going to put BRW? We'll put BRW. No, we'll go to BRW look, because it's right there. In other words, if they press the save key, we want nothing at all to happen. They're going to go right back to putting up the browse. In other words, they'll hit the break key, and we will come right here There's nothing to do here. It's a comment. There's nothing to do here but put up the browse again. And for all practical purposes, that's going to look like nothing at all happened. Let's go try that. We've now protected against the break key. We've protected against the save key. I haven't completely finished the break key yet. I'm going to show you that in a moment. Okay. Let's go out to the file. All right, let's go update and add a record. Let's do ACME. Oh, and I went to the wrong screen, didn't I? Sorry about that. Let's go back into this file. And this I'll pick screen 1. I'll hit 3. And now I'm in the cuss code field, and I'm going to put an ACME and enter. Now I've got a browse up. Let's first talk about, let's see what happens if I press the break key. It clears the browse and puts me there with Acme again. Let's hit Acme again. Okay. If I'm on the browse, I move around a little bit and I decide, oh, let me press the escape key to get escape. I pressed it. Nothing happened except that my cursor went back to the top of the screen because it re-executed the browse. I didn't tell the browse to keep the position of the highlight. You might remember that one of those choices was what do you want to do with the highlight bar, and that was a K, a P for P keep, keep the position, and there's a K for keep the position, and there was a P for, well, I'll describe these other things to you later. I don't want to mix you up, but basically, if the highlight was here and they pressed escape, nothing happened. For all practical purposes, the user thinks nothing happened. And we can arrange it so that even if the highlight's here and they press escape, nothing will happen. It won't change anything. We have dealt with break. That's what happens with break. And we know what happens with enter. Enter does what we want. So let's go fix the break. There's a little thing it should do. It should probably clear the fields. So let's go to 5, into processing, go down to @sk equals, and if we clear the browser because of the break, let's also clear screen. We'll also do 3 equals null. Okay, and what do I have to do if I change the value of a field so that I notice it? I have to display that fact, refresh the screen. So I'm going to clear the browse, change 3 back to null, and display that fact, and then put their cursor in screen 3. Let me just go show you this really quickly. If I go into Update and Add, and I go to a record, I update, I press ACME. Oh, I went to the wrong screen again. My apologies. Let me just go back into the record and switch to screen 1. Okay, update ACME. Now I've got the browse. If I press break, like the user says, oh, I don't see what I want here. I just don't see what I want. Let me start over. He presses break. It clears the field he has. He gets to type in something like VALA and enter. Now he's starting the browse a lot further down in the Valar area. It might be one of these records that he wanted to hit. Okay? Now we're going to make one other fix, and I'm going to do it very quickly, but I'm going to do it in the next lesson.